Hello fiber friends, and welcome to the Jillian Eve channel. I'm Evie and I spin yarn and I make things from yarn, and when I can I add a little twist of history. I'm really excited to share this fiber venture with you today, so let's get spinning. The magic of a spinning wheel happens because of its ability to put twist into fibers and take those twisted fibers and wrap them onto the bobbin. As you spin, those two motions are taking place: the twist and the take up, or sometimes we call it draw in. Different wheels use different mechanical systems to draw in or take up those fibers, and we call that the tension system. Today, we are going to look in detail at one of those tension systems called the single drive system, or the Scotch tension system. And stick with me to the end of the video because I am going to give you some bonus troubleshooting tips. And oh, while we're at it, make sure to hit that thumbs up if you like spinning. So here we go. Let's start with the term itself, Scotch tension. Is it Scottish, as in made in Scotland, like Scotch whiskey? Or is it something different, like hopscotch? It's time for some investigations. Here's what I found out about the single drive Scotch tension system. In 1940, the Home Journal, a magazine in New Zealand, asked Walter Ashford to design a spinning wheel. Soon after, and with the help of his father, Reverend Dudley Ashford, the single drive Scotch tension system was invented. It was created, they invented it, and they intended for it to have an efficient way to take the bobbin on and off and change bobbins while you're working on projects. And success! It is very convenient to take the bobbin on and off of a Scotch drive setup on a spinning wheel. With World War II soon after creating a huge demand for woolen socks and hats for the military, the Ashford spinning wheels went into full production. They produced over 3,600 spinning wheels that were sent all over New Zealand for spinners to be able to create woolen yarns. Each one of those wheels featured their innovative new design, the Scotch tension system. You can read more about the fascinating history of Ashford spinning wheels on their website, and I'll put a link in the description below this video. So why is it called Scotch if it isn't Scottish? Scotch is a word with multiple different definitions and meanings, and many of these terms' meanings are sort of archaic. They're not really used in common English spoken language any longer. One of those terms is documented in use as far back as 1639, and it means to block with chocks, as in a wheel rolling, that you would chalk a wheel. That's how we would say it today, but it was also known as scotching a wheel, and it means to hinder or to thwart. So you prevent a wheel from turning by scotching the wheel. Wow, this is starting to get a little familiar, isn't it? This term, Scotch tension, is going to make perfect sense with this older meaning of the word that we are now aware of. When we look at this up close, it will all become clear. So let's take an up close look at how the Scotch tension system works on a spinning wheel. Since it was invented by Ashford, I thought it would be appropriate to use an Ashford wheel to demonstrate the system and show you how it works. This is my Ashford Traditional. She is from the 1960s. She has had a bit of a glow up, but she still spins just the same as any single drive Scotch tension traddy. Remember when I said that spinning wheels accomplish two things when spinning yarn? Twist and take up? Let's first take a brief look at twist. On any spinning wheel, this big wheel is called the drive wheel. And we have a drive band that connects the drive wheel, and in this case to the flyer, the whirl that goes around the flyer. And this is a key feature of a single drive or Scotch tension system. When the drive wheel turns, it turns the flyer because it's a pulley system. and this gives our fibers the twist that they need to become yarn. This drive band should be tight enough that it doesn't slip, but not so tight that it makes treadling or turning the wheel difficult. That is our twist. Now let's look at how the wheel wraps the yarn around the bobbin, because that is where the Scotch tension system works its magic. To set up a Scotch tension system, a brake band is placed over the groove on the end of the bobbin. That band is tightened or loosened using a Scotch tension knob, just like this. The knob is held in with friction typically, and you can turn it to tighten or loosen the drive band. The drive band needs to slow down the bobbin without stopping it completely. Remember our definition of Scotch, meaning to block with a chalk, hinder, or thwart? We want to hinder or slow down the bobbin so that it does not turn at the same rate as the flyer. Let me show you. Without a brake on the bobbin, the flyer and the bobbin turn at the same rate. Without a brake on the bobbin, the flyer and the bobbin will turn at the same rate. This gives us twist, but it won't let the yarn wrap around the bobbin. When we slow down the bobbin with a Scotch tension brake, the flyer turns at a faster rate than the bobbin. The bobbin is slowed down. This will drag the yarn around and around the bobbin, causing it to wrap onto the bobbin. Now we have a way to add twist and draw the yarn onto the bobbin. It really is a brilliant system. So the next question is, how much tension do we want to crank onto that brake band? And the answer is, it depends. We always want the spinner and not the wheel to be in charge. That means that when you're spinning, if the wheel is not taking the yarn onto the bobbin at all, then you need to increase your tension. And that also means that if the wheel is ripping the fiber out of your hands, or your hands are getting tired because you feel like you have to work really hard to hold it back, then your tension is too strong and you need to loosen that tension. We are looking for Goldilocks tension. Not too strong, not too loose. We want it just right. All right, let's troubleshoot. What happens if you're working on a project and as you're going along filling that bobbin, it just doesn't seem like that tension system is working like it used to when you started your project? Well, that's normal. As you add fiber onto that bobbin, you're adding mass to that bobbin. And that means that it's going to take more friction to slow down the momentum of that bobbin. As your bobbin fills, as it gets heavier with your fiber, you will need to turn your tension up as you go. Adjusting along the way is just part of the process. What happens if you have cranked your tension on all the way? That spring is fully extended and you are just not getting any take up. You can't feel the tension working in any way. Probably what has happened is that you have completely wandered away from Goldilocks and you are in a completely different fairy tale. My best advice if this is happening to you is to take the tension system completely back, make sure it's totally loose, and then start incrementally and slowly increasing it again. Start from the beginning until you can find that Goldilocks sweet spot. If you've extended your spring all the way, you've way overshot. So bring it back and try again from the beginning. And what happens if you're spinning and you suddenly have nothing happening? It doesn't matter if you tighten or loosen the tension. It doesn't feel like the yarn is doing anything. It's just twisting and twisting, and it will not take up onto the bobbin, regardless of how tight or loose your brake band is. Usually this happens because something has gotten caught, either in the orifice or on one of the hooks. Maybe you can pull that yarn back out and that will free it up or release it, but you should give it a visual check over and make sure that nothing has gotten caught on one of the hooks or pegs if your flyer has pegs, and that everything is free and able to move along the system and be wrapped onto the bobbin. I love using a Scotch tension system for a variety of yarns. It's great for thick and textured yarns, and it's also great for smooth and consistent yarns. It's a great system to use when I'm plying, and the Ashfords were right. It is much faster to change bobbins using a Scotch tension setup. Leave a comment and let me know, what spinning wheel do you have, and does it have a Scotch tension system? Do you love it, or do you find it frustrating? Thanks so much for joining me on this fiber venture. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you want more spinning content with a little twist of history. See what I did there? All right, friends, I'll see you in the next one. Happy spinning.